at my door again. I wish this night would never end, but now you say that you got different plans.
Way out in the boonies, just a couple miles from my house, I briefly filmed a Sasquatch without realizing it, recorded hundreds of wood knocks, and experienced a bombardment of pine cones, sometimes seeing them rise up from behind a line of trees about 150 feet away. But until this spring, I had no idea just how close to the capital city of Vermont they were setting up shop.
You find it hard to look me in the eye. Must make it easier to say goodbye. What would it hurt if you stayed the night? I'd love to see you in the morning light. When it comes to you, I can't get enough. You're all that I'm thinking of. If you want.
So one night in May and one night in June, I placed a recorder in this woods and got some startling results, including 2 tree pushes on the same night. Clearly, this recent audio file is much less impressive, so I decided to move the recorder to the other end of this micro forest. That's where I explored and recorded before. There's a lot more to this place than I realized earlier. I was so interested in checking out other micro forests in the area that I neglected to explore this one completely. Keep going up and up and up. It's a lot more space than I estimated just from the Google Earth perspective. Oh my God. Look. Oh my Lord. I missed this. I had no idea. There's a huge valley over here still more room before we get to the neighborhood. Look at this. This is almost exactly like so many of my friends who are researchers are always finding. And I found some earlier, less than a mile and a half of here, in other microforests that I looked around in. 3 people right off the top of my head are finding these. Kevin Fremont researches in Utah, and he has found more than 60 of these structures. Of course, their designs vary, but there are many common elements. The married couple who explore in Angeles County, California, have found dozens of these structures. In some cases, while they've been examining them, they've had rocks pelt them from deeper in the forest. Leanne Carnegie in southern Ontario, right near a city, has found an outlandish number of these same sorts of structures, and they are in protected parks where human beings are forbidden to damage or manipulate the forest. Leanne has also recorded wood knocks at night in these locations. It's got long ones coming out the top, just as Kevin Fremont has been pointing out so well. There are all sorts of thatching, caking and packing. Wouldn't seem like people would do that if this is too small. I mean, one person could sit kind of toward the front, but then it gets all sharp and snaggly back there. It's hollowed out inside. Nothing special. No bedding. There's a forked stick though. That's very typical. Kind of seems to be pretending to hold things up, but it's too little. Some more packing material on this side. And lots of horizontal sticks. But mostly vertical. A lot of them have been stripped of bark. Not all of them though. Stripped. This is birch. That's very hard to strip. But this could have been stripped and was not. So here's a typical wishbone used in construction. A big one sticking up the top. Classic. Right here under my nose. Maybe 150 yards from my mom's house. You know, if we found one, it could be people, but I find that I have those other examples near here, and then throughout the continent, those that I mentioned are just representative of hundreds of other spots. And there's yet another whole valley before the neighborhood. I thought the neighborhood was here. It's goes to show you, man. These microforests have a way of being larger on the inside than they seem on the outside. I've driven all the roads around here, and it's kind of a brain teaser, or some kind of M.C. Escher drawing. You can't figure out where they fit all this expanse. Kind of a good lesson. Well, here's the typical parallel sticks, branches, and cross pieces. So I'm going to leave the recorder right here. Maybe the group that spends time here is just more rambunctious in the springtime, or maybe it just has to do with the days that I chose. Ideally, we would record in these forests every night and develop software that could distill a certain class of sounds that we're looking for. That way we could at least hope to begin to establish some patterns of visitation and behavior to fill in with a more dynamic picture what is now rarely more than circumstantial evidence. This will be the last in my series of microforest videos for this year. I'm going to be writing my book now, hoping to release it in January, called Next of Kin, Next Door, where I'm trying to share this radical reorganization of our thinking that needs to take place around where our next of kin actually live. In this book, I'd like to show that we don't necessarily need to push deep into the wilderness. Though Sasquatch live there too, they also live here, right beside us.
I don't know why you'd want to leave, 'cause I believe right here beside me is the best place for you, the best place for you to be. Right here beside me is the best place for you, the best place for you to be. Right here beside me is the best place for you, the best place for you to be. Right here beside me is the best place for you.